Hello everyone, I'm Brian, welcome back, let's go ahead and continue.
Swami Abhedanandaji. He went to study Advaita Vedanta in Kailash Ashram. It's a school for monks, of Vedantic monks in Rishikesh. Kailash Ashram is still there. It was established so that the wandering monks, Advaita, those who are Shankarite monks, they can have a place to come and study Vedanta. So even now, anybody is a monk or a brahmachari also can go and stay there. The free food will be provided, free lodgings will be provided. Only you have to attend the classes. So Abhedanandaji went and studied. At that time, the great teacher was Dhanraj Giri. He was teaching, great master of Vedanta. So Vedanta studied. I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, and all that, all of this. But then he wanted to experience it for himself. He said, okay, I understand this. I have got clarity about it. I feel it is true also. But let me test it. So he prayed for illness. We pray for curing of disease. He prayed for illness. And all at once he got 3 serious illnesses. One was, he got blood dysentery, I think he got malaria, and he got something else. At the same time. Did it affect him? Yes. It affected the body. He was unable to go out for his daily round of begging for food. 2 weeks, lying down in the bed, in his or on the ground, wherever, in his little hut where he was staying. Did it affect the mind? Yes, he writes in his reminiscences. Affect the mind also. Delirious. He's not thinking straight. And he writes, that's the amazing thing. I was so happy to see that complete clarity was there. Body is suffering, mind is in the delirium. I am clearly the witness of the suffering body and the delirious mind. Clearly at that moment also, completely at peace and separate from them. I can see. Oh, it is possible for Abhedanandaji. It's possible for every one of us. Every one of us. When? Right now, Adunaiva, right now.
Okay, so I guess he does explain here from the question from my the last video, is that he can clearly see separation between himself and the suffering body. I guess because I've never experienced that, I don't think, or at least maybe the times that I may have, there's literally nothing going on with the body, so I just experienced the blankness. That was about the only thing. Maybe once or twice I've experienced that. And it was like that, because I think I somehow just toned everything out for just like a mere moment. But I guess because I've never experienced that separation, it's very difficult to understand. And I guess perhaps because of the strong identities with the body, that it's kind of difficult to separate yourself from the body, obviously. Now, can be easy to separate yourself from your thoughts, your emotions, because I can understand this because there's antidepressant pills. There's you understand that there are things out there that can make some people angry and other people not. So obviously, what's being said is not necessarily making someone angry. It's because of certain memories or certain things that are said that triggers this anger. It's not something that they say the word and all of a sudden everyone gets angry. It's not like a switch that makes everyone angry. So clearly, anger itself is something that, or anger or whatever it may be, emotions, all these are chemicals that are triggered in our mind or body. So that's very easy to kind of separate, but and the physical pain, I suppose, like obviously if you chop off your finger, you don't say I'm the finger, you say, you don't say that you're the hand either if you chop it off. But I guess what I'm trying to understand is, like, do you feel it? I suppose. I guess your body does. Anyways, I guess that's the tough part for me. I guess I need to figure out what the question is. Do you still feel it? Are you still suffering? But I think in that question is saying that no, he's not suffering. There's a clear distinction between his true self and his body, but the body is in fact suffering. That's what Swami just said. So the body does still suffer, but you yourself do not suffer. That is just so weird. I think I kind of understand it now that I think about it a little bit, but it's just still, it's not very clear cut.
It is possible. Maybe not to that extent. To the extent that you are able to distance yourself from...
Okay, hold on.
It's possible for Abhidanandji. It's possible for every one of us. Every one of us. When, right now, Adunaiva, right now. It is possible. Maybe not to that extent. To the extent that you are able to distance yourself from the body, it is possible.
Distance yourself. Okay.
So much difference takes place, you know. One intermediate step could be, if you cannot directly step back from the body into consciousness, at least step back into the mind. What does it mean, step back into the mind? Instead of thinking I am a body with a mind, think I am a mind in a body. Even that's not Vedanta. That's certainly not Vedanta, because even the mind is a body. It's a subtle body, according to Vedanta. But
so it's, I think right there he's trying to say just like a step by step. You know, it's easier to remove yourself from the body than it is from the mind, because even though some people say, "Oh, this is my body, I am the body," but whenever you start explaining, "Oh, when you cut off the finger, is that you?" Like, no. What about the arm? If I remove your arm, is that you? Did I just cut you? It's like, well, you cut my body, but not me. But the mind, again, I guess this is where I'm at, where maybe we are in the mind, but again, there's no proof behind it. This is just merely my theory about maybe we are somewhere in the mind, because if you remove that one part, maybe we're gone. I don't know.
think like that. What difference does it make? Makes a big difference. I am sitting here. Mind is in Trader Joe's.
I'm like, what?
See, be careful. What do you say? Oh, I am in the Vedanta society. My mind just thoda ghoom ke aa gaya. My mind went elsewhere. If you are centered in the mind, you will be careful. You will say, my body was in Vedanta society, but I went to Trader Joe's. Which is a much worse thing. Sri Ramakrishna in the Kali temple in Dakshineshwar, Rani Rashmani, who was the owner, the Malkin of the whole temple. So she came to attend the evening arati of Ma Bhavatarani of Kali, and Sri Ramakrishna was sitting there, I think after the worship. And the Rani Ma, she came and sat down in the asana, but she was worried. She was engaged in a legal battle in the court. She was worried about a case, and her mind was just thinking what to do about it. And I think Sri Ramakrishna was singing, or some bhajan kirtan was going on. Sri Ramakrishna looked at her once, twice, I think, and slapped her and said, "Ki ekhane hoi chinta? Here also you are thinking about that." People were furious with Ramakrishna. I mean, the bodyguards and all were about to beat him. But the Rani Ma, luckily, she was very honest. She was a spiritual practitioner, like sadhika. He said, no, what he has done is right. Now I was thinking, Ramakrishna's hands will become tired by slapping all of us if he starts doing that to us. His hands will become red and hurt. So he has given up that slapping business. He's sitting quietly. Let these fellows think what they want to think. That's because we are centered in the body. Mind is going here and there. It's a sign of advanced spirituality that if I am centered in the mind rather than the body, I'll be careful about what my mind is thinking. That's one step. That's not Vedanta, very far from Vedanta. From there to consciousness is a shorter. Otherwise, from body to consciousness is a bigger jump.
And I think that's what I'm trying to learn, because I think that's much simpler, is mere reduction of suffering. Again, if you believe in, I guess, reincarnation, then, why not one step at a time master reduction of suffering at the very least, and then once you got past that, you can go pursue the higher level. I guess you can always pursue any of it, obviously, But, you know, one step at a time for me. If it can reduce suffering, do you really need to be enlightened? I suppose. I mean, everyone has their goals. For me, contentment is good enough for me.
As I step back from the body, as I step back from the mind and see that the body is an object, the mind is an object also, so much change occurs. Tremendous change. All the needs and demands of the body, they will still be there. Body will require food. Body will require dress. Body will require a place to stay. If it is ill, body will require medicine also. But it's not me. Our 99% of desires are because I am identified with the body. Body does not want too much. Think about it. Body needs clothes. I decide, yes, I will give clothes to the body. What clothes? I decide once for all. For the rest of life, one piece of Gerua cloth and one Gerua shirt will be enough. Whole clothing industry destroyed. Finished. In entire range of fashion shows and everything. One devotee who is working for some very famous Versace and some fashion houses, I forget the name. They have got very big showrooms in New York. Very famous. In Broadway they are going and showing. So this person, he works for them. And many of us, we do not know, there's one person who owns the 3 top fashion houses in the world. They seem to be different in competitors. They're all owned by one owner. He is a multi-billionaire. And he was telling me, this gentleman who works there, bed sheets $3,000. And many funny stories he told me about people who come there. All billionaires. Entire this industry. So much money and glamour and everything is focused there. Why? Because I want to dress up this bundle of flesh and blood and skin and bones in variety of nice fabrics.
Well, it's not necessarily nice fabrics either. It's literally they're all made out of the same cotton or whatever polymers or whatever it's made out of clothing. This is just the brand. That's all it really is. You know, it's all made out of the same fabric, made out of the same material, but it's the brand. And just because this shirt could literally cost $2 billion, and because of the brand of it, and it's so exclusive that people want it. The people who find fashion to be, I guess, their passion or whatever it is, the exclusive nature of something drives a desire in people. It's like, oh my gosh, it's $2 million. Not very many people can afford that. Not many people can have that. I can be unique in that way. And I think it's a big thing. It's the uniqueness. Because that's what I'm starting to notice in the West, at the very least. In America, let me say that. In America, young people are wanting to be so unique. They want to be special. And because, you know, they want to stand out, they want to be special, they want to be unique. And the only way they can really be unique or special or stand out is by words, really, not action. And because they can't really do anything, or they don't find value. I don't want to say they can't really do anything. They don't want to do anything. They just want this specialness without work. So it's too hard to do anything good in the world, for sure. But there's a need for that. And you could kind of see that with the rich, I suppose, too. Where they want to be special, they're looking for attention, and not all of them, of course. But the people who freaking, you know, buy really expensive designer stuff, it's not very many people can have. Well, I mean, anyway, not many people can have it. So when you see a purse that no one else can have, it's like, oh, or not very many people can have. It's an exclusive club, you could say.
What? Oh, you are a Swami, that's why you think so. No, it's a fact. Food. In Vedanta, you are supposed to regard food as medicine. Hunger is a disease, food is a medicine.
Well, that's interesting. Never thought about that.
If food is a medicine, Whatever the devotees provide, the ashram provides, I will eat. I have no more, nothing more. The entire range of, I saw in Hollywood or in Manhattan, whole street full of famous places, restaurants and hotels and famous places to eat. Whole industry collapses.
Well, I'll have to speak up on this one a little bit. You could say that many different kinds of medicines. It depends on what kind of medicine you're looking for hunger, Why not have different flavors of medicine? If you can, there are some medicines, the cough drops and stuff. If you're coughing, you go buy some cough drops, and usually people say they taste nasty. It's like terrible. It's like, then the people wish that they can find cough drop that this is pretty good, Well, there you go. That's what if hunger is a disease, then different kinds of food that taste really good. Why not grab the most tasteful food to cure a disease? Imagine if you're having cough and you're like, this cough drop tastes amazing, and it cures my cough. But I'm just kind of picking there. But it's interesting. Does Vedanta actually say that hunger is a disease? That's the first time I've heard that.
Places to eat, whole industry collapses. If you treat food as medicine, gone case, finished. It is not possible for us. To a great extent, it is possible for everybody. All you have to do is step back from the body. Step back how? In understanding. I am not the body. Whatever requirement the body has, I will give. For health, for functioning, I will give it. Similarly, whatever requirement mind has, I will give also. But I am not the mind also.
What?
Same reasons. Drashta, drishya. Mind is an object. Savikara, nirvikara. Mind changes continuously. I am observing. How many times in a day today have you been happy? How many times have you been unhappy? What it means that I have been happy and satisfied and pleased dozen times today in the morning, and irritated and disappointed and displeased 3 dozen times from the morning till now. Notice one thing, a powerful point. None of these are stuck with you. If you are happy, and if that's your condition, you will be happy throughout. The same person, the same awareness which noticed the happiness of the mind, also noticed the unhappy state of the mind. Same awareness which noticed the pleased state of the mind, also noticed the displeased state of the mind. Neither the pleased mind, happy mind, nor displeased mind, unhappy mind sticks with you. It goes away. Pleasure, displeasure, happiness, satisfaction, dissatisfaction, irritation, good thoughts, bad thoughts, desire, frustration, peace. All of these things have come and gone in your mind so many times since the morning till now. Is it not so? Is it not a fact? None of them stick to you. You are free of them. It's a great good thing that you are free of them. That's the nature of the mind, to continuously change. You are the unchanged, free awareness. Let go. Let go. As you step back from the mind, step back into what? Chiti Vishramya. You rest in awareness. You are the awareness which shines upon the mind, the changeful mind. You need not do anything specific to rest in awareness. You are already that, and you are already resting in awareness. Just become aware of the fact.
It's like almost saying, be aware of the awareness. Be aware of yourself being the awareness. That's the kind of the weird thing, though, because they say that you are the subject, you can never be the object. So how can you be the subject and the object at the same time? I think I've said this before in other videos. I can't remember what the kind of the answer was to that. Because obviously you cannot be both the subject and the object. You are only ever the subject. But I think you conclude the fact that once you remove everything, once you remove everything that's an object, the only thing that remaining becomes you, the subject. But he's saying just be aware of that awareness. I wonder if he'll say something like, but what is that though? I guess that's the question. Okay, if I can be aware of my awareness, but if I am the awareness, I become the object, which cannot be. Perhaps it's more along the lines of being aware of the blankness. Once you're able to remove your thoughts and your emotions, and there's no thoughts or emotions, then it becomes the blankness. It's still not genuinely you, but it's at least it's the awareness of the blankness, where you are your true self of awareness, aware of nothing, but being aware of that you're aware. Maybe that's what he's trying to say. Hopefully that's not confusing.
Anyway, I'm speaking too much.
Me yet. Sorry, my bad.
Reactions? Tell me. Moment you do this, Sukhi Shanta. Sukhi means happy. You will be happy, mind will be happy, body also will be happy when you step back from the body and mind. Shanta. Shanta means free of suffering. Shanta means dukkha will be shanta. Prapancha upashama shanta. In Mandukya Upanishad it said, you will be, earlier verse it said, the noise, shanta samsara kalana, the noise of samsara will become quiet, it will die down. You will be free of the noise of samsara. Free of suffering it means. Reactions? Yes, question.
Thank you, Swami. So my question is that, is it then true that one has to be, or one's body has to be challenged in some manner to dissociate oneself from it? Like you said that Swami Vivekananda actually prayed for illness, and it was almost as a test. That am I able to step back? Am I able to dissociate right now? Is that true? Or
does it have to be challenged?
Yes, because when one is not aware.
No, it doesn't have to be challenged. It challenges you. And when it challenges you, you have to stick to your point. You have to stick to the fact that I am not you. It will try to scare you. Body will try to scare you. Oh, I'm getting sick, I'll get a heart attack, I will die if you don't take care of me. No, nothing is going to happen. Nothing will happen. Body will come. Now here in this country there is a term, panic attack. The mind goes, oh, something terrible is happening. Nothing will happen. Let the mind get its panic attack. You watch carefully. When you get upset, you are not upset. Are you aware? The one who is aware of the upset, is that one upset? Never. Question?
So yeah, I mean that's again the way I explain it. I guess a very easy way, I suppose, to explain it to people, even those who don't follow this, is the fact that you do realize they make pills, antidepressant pills. They make pills to there's ADHD people who are also always so bouncy and can't really focus on anything, and they give them these pills and they mellow out. I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but just the sheer fact that a person who's very bouncy, who takes this pills, can be mellow and doesn't bounce all over the place. A person who's depressed takes this pills, now we're no longer depressed. So you can there's a clear distinction between someone who's very hyper in his body, but all of a sudden the pill, they're all of a sudden calm down. So clearly there's a pill, a chemical that can remove the hyperness. So this is not you. There's this thing, this chemicals that's being stopped to prevent you, that stops you from being hyper or stops you from being depressed. Even headaches, like that's not really a good thing, but headaches, you take a pill, it reduces your pain. and then your thoughts. Obviously, you can think whatever you want to think, and you can think of nothing or try to think of nothing. But your mind, a good way to separate that is the fact that your mind will still think of stuff, and you're like, stop thinking this stuff, you know. So clearly, your mind and you are separate, because sometimes your mind will listen to you whenever you say don't think of anything, or sometimes your mind will just think of random things whenever you don't want it to think of, and then clearly there's where the separation happens. It's very kind of it's very easy to explain, I suppose. I hope. I've not tried it, but I think those are pretty clear-cut examples of a separation between your emotions, your hyperness, your headaches, and your thoughts.
Just to add to that question, Swami, I mean, but somewhere, when you say you should be like indifferent or unattached to it, but somewhere you have to develop that character through some self-discipline, coming out of your comfort zone, maybe day in, day out, I don't know, but maybe certain times in your life.
Certainly.
Unless that you do,
Certainly.
in your daily life, the way a normal human being goes, you cannot simply say that something comes and you simply say, oh, I'm unattached.
No, you cannot.
Right.
But the emphasis should be not on challenging the body. What did Abhedanandaji do before challenging the body? What did Abhedanandaji do before challenging the body?
In understanding.
Yes,
There was a
he got that conviction. He went through the whole Vedantic process. Straight away, if I say, oh, I like the Abhedananda story, now I will do it. You're asking for trouble. The funny story is there that Swami, it's a well-known story, Swami Turiyanandaji. See, the tradition is there. Turiyanandaji, when he was a young man, Hari, he went and asked Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna was suffering from throat cancer. My doctor told me that it's one of the worst forms of cancer. When you're suffering this, for example, he said, one of the many pleasantries of throat cancer is that we are continuously, we're not aware, we're continuously swallowing our saliva. If it is blocked by a tumor, you cannot swallow the saliva, continuously it will pour out of the mouth. This is one of the selling points of getting throat cancer. So, pain, discomfort, disgusting situation. Hari asked Sri Ramakrishna, how are you today, sir? And Sri Ramakrishna said, oh, there is pain and I cannot eat. And Hari said, but sir, I see, Mahasaya, I see that you are in great bliss. And you know what was Sri Ramakrishna's reply? He said, the rascal has caught me out. The rascal has caught me. A normal patient of cancer, he would say, it is very cruel to say such a thing to you. I am suffering. How have you seen that I am in bliss? But he says,
The body
the
suffers.
rascal has caught me out. The same Hari Maharaj, who became Turiyananda, Swami Turiyananda, the great Vedantin, towards the end of his life, he suffered a lot physically, and one day there was an operation on his finger, and the doctor had to lance it. In those days, lancing, it was a painful thing. The doctor said, I'll have to give anesthesia. And the Swami Turiyanandaji said, no need. Just tell me when you are cutting, I will be, just tell me when you are cutting, it will be alright. And he cut it open, and Turiyanandaji just, not in meditation. That's the interesting thing. Not in samadhi. He's sitting there in full awareness, smiling. Now the interesting thing happened next day, when the doctor came to dress the wound. He opened the bandage and he was able to clean the wound there, and Turiyanandaji shouted in pain, oh, what are you doing? Doctor was surprised. He said, Swami, no doubt it is painful, but it is nothing compared to what happened yesterday. Yesterday, when I was lancing it, the pain must have been much more, and you were calm and relaxed. Now you are shouting. The Swami said, Turiyanandaji said, in Bengali, he said, Bolbe to mon tule nitam. You should have told me, then I would have taken my mind away from that. He says it so simply, I would have taken my mind away from that. There are two ways of doing it. One is, take the mind and focus it inside somewhere, in such deep focus that you are not aware of anything outside. That's the yogic method called samadhi. Your mind becomes completely absorbed in it. So there is no cognitive space left for recognizing pain. Sometimes hypnosis works that way. So you do not feel the pain. But that's not what Turyanandaji did. His method, I suspect, was a Vedantic approach. I feel the pain, like Ramakrishna says, I feel the pain. I'm not pretending. But at the same time, I know I am not in pain. I am that which is aware of the pain. It's nothing philosophical for them, it's a fact.
I do wonder, like, about stories like this. I've not heard of any really. But I do wonder if anyone has ever done this and had a surgery without taking anesthesia. And have they successfully gone through the surgery being fully aware? So I can see the belief of if you focus your mind on something that you forget about other things. That I can see because you're distracting yourself, and it's kind of like you hear stories of people getting shot or being stabbed or being cut in a life or death situation, and then after the situation's over with, they kind of inspect themselves, like, oh man, you've been shot. It's like, oh, I didn't realize it, because your adrenaline's going, and I guess it numbs the pain, and all of a sudden after the situation over with, and after you calm down a little bit, you start feeling the pain. It's like, oh my god, it hurts, but it's because your body's in the fight or flight mode, where being injured could put you in a worse scenario. So your body kind of, so long as it's not vital or crucial, or you're applying too much pressure onto it, it'll generally ignore it. I think. I'm not a doctor, but I've heard people do that where they don't realize they've been cut. Like me too. Like I've been cut sometimes when I'm working on things, and all of a sudden I look at it, I was like, what is that? And I touch it, and like, oh, it stings. And I'm like, oh, great. I shouldn't have looked there. And it starts hurting. It's like annoying me now. But yeah. But now, so is it Sri Ramakrishna? And I'm sorry for the other person's name, but they're now. This is the hard part. This is something I can't understand, because it's not something that obviously well, for one, I've experienced or heard someone, and it doesn't make sense to a degree. Obviously, if you're able to separate yourself from your body, then I can understand that. But the understanding portion of how does that work and how does the pain still interact, that's the part that I don't understand. And again, with the last one where you focus your attention somewhere else, the pain's still happening, but because you're not aware of it, that you can ignore the pain for a little bit. That I can see, because the scratch is an example, and then you look at it and you realize, oh crap, that's hurting now, because you saw it, your brain's like, oh, it should be hurting, and then all of a sudden it's hurting. But yeah, so that's, I guess, the question I had a little bit earlier. It's like, how does that work? And I can't understand it, because it's something I've never experienced, something that I don't know how you can do without the focusing part. The focusing just ignores it. But I suppose, yeah, that is just something I just don't know. I don't understand. I can't comprehend at the moment. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. Other than that, yeah.
It's a fact. Like Avedanandaji, when body is sick, blood dysentery is there, mind is in delirium, I am aware of it, quite separate from it. I am completely at peace. It is possible. But
I suppose that at that point your body would be screaming, right? In pain and suffering. Your face will be making all the faces that it normally would if it's in pain. But your true self wouldn't be. But your true self never is, whether you believe in this or not. Your true self is never in any kind of pain, never in any kind of emotion, never anything, really. It is as it is, and that's it. It can never change. It can never be affected. So, whether you believe it or not, whatever you believe in it or not, you are the way you are, and never changing and never affected. But this is the same scenario that they're in, where their true self is never affected by the pain, but the body is suffering. And are they screaming and yelling, or does the body scream and yell, or what? I wish I could ask. I wish I could ask Swami here about that. Sorry, I was thinking of the example about the throat cancer with Sri Ramakrishna, and saying how, you know, the body's in pain, but my true self is not. Yeah, that's something I just can't understand at the moment. I understand what they're meaning, but I just don't understand how does it work, I guess.
But what is not possible is what happened next. And there is a story which is not recorded, but we have heard of it as monks. One monk, he was supposed to be operated, again somewhere in the finger or in the hand. And the doctor said, we have to put some anesthesia, local anesthesia. And the monk said, no, no, no. I have read about it. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am the witness.
Oh.
You operate, no need. Doctor said, Swami, are you sure it will hurt? He said, nahi karo, go ahead in Hindi. The moment the knife cut the flesh, and then the Swami said, oh, wait, put anesthesia. Then the doctor said, what happened to your Atma with consciousness? And the Swami said, this is an interesting point for us. He said, I'll tell you in Hindi and translate. वो साला किताब का बात किताब में रह गया. Those things which are from the book, kitab means book. All the theory from the book is in the book. Don't anesthesia, put some anesthesia.
Wait, he's a Swami, but he says it's all a theory? Did I hear that right? I couldn't hear because people were laughing, but I guess. Hold on, let's play it back.
All the theory from the book is in the book.
The theories from the book.
Don't anesthesia, put some anesthesia. That's what's going to happen to us if you straight away jump into it. Yes.
Swamiji, I have a question.
Yes. Let me also add one or two things. I saw recently we discovered some old letters written by Swami Shivanandaji to a Swami in New York. We found in New York itself. Shivanandaji was a disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. And he's writing the letter, simple postcard, highest Vedanta written there. So valuable. It says, body is not good. This is little I'm translating from Bengali. The body is not good. He's old, he was suffering, he had a stroke. Body is not good. But the vision of Satchidananda beyond the body is ever before me. I am at peace and I do not care for the body. I pray to Sri Ramakrishna that he grants you this vision too. With all love and blessings, Shivananda. You see? Anyway, ask the question.
I constantly dwell in this particular question. If the basic nature, if the character of consciousness is to detach, to be just aware of the body, then why take the form?
And tell me this question again. If the characteristic of consciousness is to be aware of the body, then why?
Yeah, to constantly be aware and not attached with the form, whatever form that body is, consciousness is taken. Why even take the form?
Why take the form?
Why?
What Vedanta tells you is...
Oh. Okay, my guess is the fact that, well, if Brahman is... Everything is Brahman. I know some people don't like the phrasing of that, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Therefore, no matter what, it's whatever form we are Atman, pure consciousness, Brahman. So it doesn't matter. Even objects in this world is that. So it's merely the fact that we have such a developed brain that the awareness is a little bit higher than, I guess, animals, perhaps. That we've become, how do I say, that we believe we are the body. So pure consciousness is in everything, but because we have a higher functionality in our brain, that we believe we are the body.
You have not taken a form. Who has taken the form?
The body.
Where is the form? Tell me. Does consciousness have a form or the body have a form?
The
Body.
body is a form.
The body is a form.
Yeah.
Correct? Go slowly there, step by step. The body is a form. Then what has taken the form?
What has taken the form?
Look at the question you asked. Why take the form? My question is, what has taken the form? Are you asking
body
why
has-
has the body taken a form?
No, the consciousness has be in this form of what? Called body.
Yes. Look at how you're changing the language of your question. Why is the consciousness in the form called the body? If you're in the form, are you in the form? Or are you aware of the body and the form?
I'm in the form.
You are in the form. Or are you aware of the form?
I'm aware of the form.
Yeah.
I think she just changed her answer because she doesn't want to get it wrong. But I get it, kind of. Well, isn't the body not just merely a form of consciousness? If everything is Brahman, everything's consciousness. Again, the phrasing, you get what I'm trying to say. So therefore, we are the body in a sense, because the body is Brahman. It's an illusion of Maya and Brahman. It's really weird to say Maya, but you get what I'm trying to say. But there's no distinction between anyone and everything. But anyways, let's hear what she has to say. I'm going to rewind it by 5 seconds.
Or are you aware of the form?
I'm aware of the form.
Yes. You are aware of the form. So have you taken the form or has body taken a form? The moment you say, why take the form, already the devil is in the question, that you are assuming that you have taken a form. You have not, that's what Vedanta is saying, you have not taken a form.
You're merely aware of
If you're
the form.
asking on the other hand, why is the body there at all?
Yeah, that's exactly what my
Ah.
Maybe I didn't put it rightly.
Yes, but if you put it rightly, already you're free of 90% of your problems. You see, where is the problem? The problem is, I am this form. That's the problem. If I say, no, I am not this form, but I am aware of this body which has a form, then already you're free of most of the problems, because the problems belong to the body and which has a form, but they do not belong to you. Now if you are asking, why is the body there at all? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, this is what my question is.
That's a theoretical question, but no problem. The answer is very simple. The body is due to past karma. Past karma gives a result in the form of this body, which will enable me to experience many things in this life. That is the answer given by Vedanta or any other Indian philosophy.
So the body's created by past karma? I wonder, is this the philosophy also that we have infinite rebirths and there's no beginning or end? So therefore, there's no. You can't ask the question. So who created the first karma? Or however many bodies created karma? You know, to create all these bodies, these animals, bacteria, humans, plants. You know, assuming everything has karma, plants, bacteria, animals, humans. At the very beginning, generally speaking, there's only a singularity that exploded, and then life forms started to form. But in order for this body to exist, there must be karma behind it. According to Swami Taramananda, if I understood him correctly, there's an infinite cycle, a never-ending cycle. So there's not a beginning, I believe, nor is there an end. So therefore, that would explain the infinite number of karmas, and never really needing, in a sense, an explanation as to where did it all start.
Yes, there's a question.
So since that question arises, would you kindly elaborate upon this ongoing confusion between Jivatma and Paramatma? Because that is where I think it comes up.
Now what is the question precise? Put the question precisely.
Yeah, if you can please elaborate this ongoing confusion between Paramatma or the consciousness and Jivatma.
What do you define Jivatma as? If you say Paramatma is consciousness, what is the Jivatma?
Well, in this question, I guess one had to define as something that I have come to identify with due to the body.
So if the body is the Jivatma.
That is the confusion I'm talking about. That is the confusion that all
Right.
has.
In fact, you have precisely pointed it out. Paramatma and Jivatma are one and the same thing. Jivatma is consciousness. Moment you forget that you are consciousness and you say, I am the body, that is the confusion. The big thing is first to recognize it's a confusion. Most people don't recognize the confusion. They take it as a fact. I am the body. So, what confusion? If you think it's a confusion, already you are far ahead. That's exactly what Shankara is saying. It's a confusion. It's not real. What's not real? That fact that I am the body, it seems like that fact is not a fact. You are something, your awareness which is aware of the body. Is there resistance to this idea? There will be resistance. If there is no resistance, you are straight on the path to liberation, straight ahead. There will be a resistance. Yeah. That's how we are used to functioning, day in and day out. See, knowing that you are not the body does not prevent you from using the body. Knowing that you are not the car does not prevent you from using the car. Knowing that you are not the house does not prevent you from living in the house. Jivan Mukti. Look at the term. Jivan means living. What is living? Body is living. Mukti, what is free? You are free of the body while living. Being in the body, using the body, living in this life, and yet being free of it all. That is Jivan Mukti. In fact, yes, Turiyananda ji used to say that I would always think, why at all this life is there? What she asked, this question at all, if you push it further, why at all? If I am pure consciousness, why at all is this game going on? What's the point of it all? Turiyananda ji had this question, and he said he found his answer in Jivan Mukti. This liberation while living, that answered his question. How did it answer his question? Jivan Mukti Sukha Prapti Hetave Manushya Deha Dharana. In order to get the bliss of Jivan Mukti, that's why we have been born with a human body. That's the ultimate answer which solved his dilemma. The joy is so much, the bliss is so much, that being in this world, in this body, in the middle of all these forms and all these experiences, and being completely free of it, the unimaginable freedom and joy and peace, that itself is worth all of this. That's what it solved his, at his level, it solved his dilemma. Question?
Alright, I'm actually going to pause the video right here before it runs too long again. So very interesting so far. Not too much longer to go. But yeah, learning a little bit more, and not realizing that food is a disease that you have to cure with food. But anyways, if you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.